starter came in. It's Monday, day after Easter. Gonna slap the starter on, waiting on my son to show up. This weekend was Saturday. I think it was like 60 degrees. Yesterday it was 70. Today it's in the 40s. Cloudy and windy. Well, I got Kodal. Typical Ohio. Tomorrow, Wednesday, supposed to be back up in the 70s, though. It's springtime. But this weekend we did end up filming Julie with the shower curtain and some other plans she has. So I'll add that to this. And well, we'll try to walk through better than what I did when I pulled the starter and the generator out. So I'm going to try to go through that as much step by step as I can. But with anything like that, if you're not sure how to do something, just, you know, like the generator, pulling it out, just look at what holds it. And on this, it's just a frame on top of a frame that slides. But you also have all your wires, you have your propane hoses, your muffler system, all that's on there. But, you know, don't be scared to tackle something. Usually the hardest things to tackle are the easiest things to fix. And the easiest things that you think will be to fix end up being the hardest, in my experience. But as far as that generator, we found out what was holding it. We took the 4 bolts off, and we started kind of wiggling it and seeing what wires had to come off, because all of them didn't have to come off. We didn't even have to undo the propane. The hose on it was long enough. A lot of the wires in this wiring harness for this was just zip tied up into the frame, and once we cut the zip ties, it freed it up enough that we had, I think the only wire we pulled off was the hot. And there's 2 ways to do that. The right way when you do a hot is to go to the battery and take the power completely away from it. The way we did it, and I'm not saying it's the right way, it's the way we did it, is we wrap it up really good. And then we put it down where it's not going to touch no metal and short nothing out. So that's what we did. Right or wrong, it's how we did it. But once we got it out, we got a stump and just set the edge of the generator on the stump while the rest of the generator stayed inside the coach, but it freed up enough room to get back to that starter. The starter, looking at the generator, is on top of the starter, but it's clear in the back of it. It's a poor design. It needs to be easier to get to, especially when you can't slide one out like that. You shouldn't have to undo everything on that to do something as simple as a starter. So that's how we did it. I'll show you the bolts we took out. I'll show you what we had to unhook. We had to unhook all the muffler and the brace and the exhaust pipe that comes out. Had to take it off. All that was really simple. Like I said, it didn't take 30 minutes to get that starter off. I'm assuming within 40 minutes we'll have the starter on, have it slid back in, everything fastened down, all the wires reconnected, propane turned on, and have it running. So we'll see, but we'll definitely video as much of it as I can. I brought 2 cameras. I brought my Foss cam, and then I brought my good camera. Try to get a couple different angles. See if I can. If I can't, then you're gonna get stuck with one. But just waiting on them to show up, and got a couple of things I'm gonna do in here. May turn the heat on, and we'll get back at you later.
Okay, so we put up a new shower curtain in here. It had like regular curtains and a plastic curtain. I prefer a cloth curtain. They dry better than the plastic. So it's not too long. It's a home curtain. We put it up with a shower rod behind it. I put the shower rod as close to the top as I could because there's boards up here, and they're like studs up here. Whoever had this before had the curtain rod here, and it's pulled the wall away right in here. So we're going to have to work on that, but for now, this will work. And I put the shower curtain on another rod. And I chose this shower curtain for a couple of reasons. One reason is I really like the beachy theme. It's really relaxing, so that's what we decided to go with. We've got the light up cabinets in here, so let's go ahead and go with that. But it has a couple of things on the shower curtain. It says it's never too late to follow your dreams.
Which is true.
And it says, always believe something wonderful is about to happen. So there you go. Take pride in how far you've come, and have faith in how far you can go. So that's kind of our theme for the journey. And then on the very bottom of this shower curtain it says, find joy in the journey. And that's what this is all about, is our journey, our retirement home, our Fred. So that's why we did this. It's our theme. Oh, I got shell curtain hooks. I could have gone with something a little more basic, but you know, I kind of wanted to go with the theme. I have a shell Scentsy burner to put in here. That'll work as a nightlight. I'm excited about that. I haven't gotten a rug yet because the measurements on the floor, and I just really haven't decided what I wanted yet. So, but I'll get that done real soon. So we did finally find us a bedspread that we wanted to put in here. I said before that we're going with the beach theme for Fred, and so we got us a nice bedspread while we were in Florida. We did go with a king size because I like to have it go clear to the floor, and I like to have the fold down. That's just something that I personally like. So you'll notice that there's a couple pillows on here. Those were made by our granddaughter, just for us and just for the coach. I have in my hand here a couple of the shoe things. I took them down. They go all the way around the bottom of the bed. We'll be putting those back up. I took them down and washed them because they were kind of dirty just from being used. So we're going to get those put back up yet today, and we'll be able to use those again.
Unhooked this right here,
What is it?
which is this wire, some kind of ground wire. Take your ground off this back track back here, and then you got these connections that are all zip tied up back in here.
Which give it a lot of
Cut the
room
zip
to pull
ties
out.
Yeah. And then your starter's actually right here where my hand's at. Take these two bolts off, and you got your starter wire right here, and then these 4 bolts over there and over there.
Which are here and here, and it slides. This is sliding on top of that. But the one you got to watch out for is when you pull this hot off right here.
Yep.
Like I said, the correct way would be to unhook the battery, but the way we did it, we just cover the hot up, don't we?
The quickest.
There you go. All right, here you go. Getting ready to slap starter on, and we'll carry on.
Can we get a little more room in here?
You want that drop light?
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit easier once this thing's pulled out. There's no way to get to it because of that.
There you go. Got me some Loctite in there.
So you can see where he's holding it. The top bolt is right here, and the other one you pretty much just have to, like in a dark room, and you do it by feel, but that's it. And you can see the very back of it, so sure makes it easier to pull out. Most of these are on trays and they roll out, but being propane they won't allow that, so we about got her though. All right, there it is.
Oh, sorry.
Got her on, and as you can see how tight it is.
Mount bolt here, mount bolt 180 off. Power wire down here, it's covered up now.
Put the one under,
Put the power wire on first and then put your starter on.
and the one underneath you pretty much do by feel, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. We're gonna start attaching things and get this thing fired up. I got it pushed back in, and you can see where everything hooks up. And now it's just a matter of routing everything, hooking it all up. Make sure
Everything reaches.
it reached earlier.
You gotta put the exhaust bag on, hook these 4 up.
There's 4 bolts that hold this
Power and ground.
actually in, but the exhaust did have to come off to pull it out, which was really no big deal. power ground, and I think there's something for the hour meter, wasn't there? Or did all that?
Just this right here. We left everything on but your power, your ground, and your exhaust, and we're done.
Yeah, so once we put all this back on, but this propane hose is long enough, and then the wiring harness back there, once we cut the zip ties, that allowed it to come all the way out, so. They're putting the 4 bolts back in, trying to get it lined up, which it's not that big a deal. You just gotta get all the holes lined up, and it's heavy, and it only slides probably about 1/8 inch either way, 1/4 inch.
Once the bolts are in, you got like probably less than that, back and forth. Just knock it a couple times.
Just knock it a couple times.
Get the big hammer out. This is it.
We have to drill this out, lock washer.
Yeah. Hang on, that one, get your gun over there.
Did you drop one?
Alright, he's putting the hot back on, so we can be safe.
She is. Don't forget that. I need some kind of wrench for this.
Alright, he's I think we got everything. Exhaust is all back on, all the bolts, all the wires. He's double checking. I'd probably be concerned about this. That propane hose on top of that'll get hot, but.
Yeah, but this is what gets zip tied back in here.
Oh, okay.
So it's not gonna be rubbing on anything.
Gotcha.
Everything's good.
Alright, we're gonna fire it up. Hopefully.
America.
Well, there you go. What'd it take? 40 minutes max? And that
40,
was
45.
and that was taking our time to make sure that we were doing everything right.
Yeah.
So you had 2.5 hours max maybe?
No, I'd
Well,
say
30 out, 40 in.
get a couple guys. You'd have it done in an hour, hour and a half. If you had all the pieces and parts.
Well, there you go. So if you remember me going through a list of things that need to be fixed on this, one of the last things on the list was the cruise control not working. Well, they tore the column apart, got into the wiring, and if you remember me telling you that don't be scared to tackle things, well, whoever tackled this originally should have been scared because they didn't put it back together right, especially electrical. You don't tear wires apart. You don't tear wires apart and then just twist them and put electrical tape on them. You got to do it right, but hopefully this fixes the cruise. We will see, but stay tuned. So we got it all back together. It's all soldered, shrink wrapped the way it's supposed to be. Won't know if it actually works until we actually drive it. So hopefully it works. If it's not, then it's who knows. You know, it's a mechanical motor with an electronic package on it. There's just so many things it could be, but we'll worry about that. That is the only thing left to do from when I bought the coach and the things I knew had to be fixed. So we're good to go. I'll get this uploaded and get her on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, RJ's Adventures, Instagram, and Twitter. See you guys. Thanks for watching.